What's up, everybody? It's the Tabletop Tyrant here, and today we're going to be diving into Bretonnia's army introduction. These guys were a big pain in my side. One, because they're 6th edition. And that's not a bad thing, genuinely. It's just they have so much freaking magical items and virtues and all this other stuff, it ate up a lot of time. And they have very little unit entries because it's so old. I am really excited to see where this goes in terms of the old world, and I'm honestly really looking forward to compare and contrast this army the most, because this has gotten no love in 7th, no love in 8th, and finally getting some love after being discontinued for the entire duration of Age of Sigmar. So, without further ado, let's move on. Also, sorry, real quick caveat, I'm not a Bretonnian player. I've never even played a person that did Bretonnia. So if I get something wrong or you would have done something differently in this, please feel free to let me know. And I'm going to speak a little more matter of fact than giving my own interjections, because it's coming from a place of inexperience. And I've seen people say, how do I start an army? How do I do this? I'm going to give you the facts. I'll tell you what I think is good. Hopefully people that are watching this will tell you what they think is good in the comments below. And then hopefully you have a good point to start. Obviously, the whole range is getting redone. I wouldn't work, or not redone, but re-released. I wouldn't go buying them on eBay because they're still astronomical prices. Without further ado, move it on. Let's do it. Back to the epic PowerPoint that I do these on. Army quirks. Alright, here we go. Boom. Bretonnia Lance Formation. As you see here, 3 front, and these guys on the sides can attack. These 2 would be where the Fey Enchantress goes, and or Damsel. Now, line of sight works as such. If this dude has enemies in front of him, so do these guys. If this dude has enemy in front of him, so do these guys. If he does not, they can't attack. These guys can if they do. I think it's pretty simple. Damsels can still cast spells and do magic. Pretty dope, but they can't attack, obviously, because they lack line of sight. And they're kept in the middle to kind of play in the chivalry attitude of the Bretonnians. I think that's dope. Peasant duty, they pretty much get to use the leadership of a knight anywhere within 6 inches, as long as he's not running away. That's cool. Also, their standards are worth 0 points because they're peasants and no one cares. Unfortunate for them. Now, we run into what's called the vows, the bane of doing this entire setup. The Grail Vow, Questing Vow, and the Knight Vow. The Grail Vow gives you Blessing of the Lady, regardless of praying, and then on top of it you get magical attacks. Pretty dope. I think in order to join a unit with the Grail Vow, like the Grail Knights, your Lord must also have the Grail Vow. I don't know if that's the truth. Let me know in the comments below. Questing Vow. Knights with the Questing Vow may ignore panic caused by friendly units, and also the Peasant Duty. Any peeps with that rule, they get to re-roll any psychological tests. So, and they cannot be joined by characters with the Knight's Vow because they don't like lances. They don't believe in that stuff. They leave the lances to the lowly knights. So, the Knight's Vow, with this vow, ignore panic caused by friendly peasants. What are you going to do? I think that's free. It's a free upgrade. You don't pay for it on your lords or your paladins. But, you know, what are you going to do about it? Now, Blessing of the Lady, let's dive into this. This is pain in the bootay. Blessing of the Lady, you can pray. It didn't say in the book if you have to roll anything. I don't know if you have to in 8th edition. It just said you say you're going to pray. If you do that, you get a 6-up ward save, 5-up ward save against strength 5 attacks. Ward save applies to Hippogriffs, Pegasus, Prophetess, Damsels, and anything with vows. You just get that. If you flee, you lose it. If you don't challenge and you run away and you say I'm not challenging, every unit involved in that combat that watched you deny a challenge loses that prayer. So it behooves oneself to accept your challenges instead of losing it. Now, also the army must include a BSB, which is a paladin. Now, moving on, let's do this. We got a lot of enchanted stuff to cover here. Oh, let's do it. Oh man, this is my 3rd take, and they've all been 40 minutes long. So let's do this. Penitent Engine, 40 points. Knight gets stubborn, can't join units, nor can he have magic items, nor does he get a Hippogriff or Pegasus. Must take a Barded Warhorse. Is what it is when you pay 40 points for it. Knightly Templar, 40 points for every successful attack that hits and wounds. Boom. Guess what? You generate an additional 1. You don't, however, generate additional ones after that, and you may not take magical weapons. Heroism, 40 points. If armed with a non-magical weapon, gain killing blow. However, it only affects human-sized models, nothing on mounts. Stoicism, reroll failed break test, ideal, +2 weapon skill, +1 initiative, +1 attack. However, he cannot be the general, and any leadership checks within 6 inches of this dude are -1. So, you get a beefy dude, but it comes at a cost. Impetuous Knight, you're looking at 35 points. I don't know if that's worth it. I don't know what you think. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Knights get to add D6 to their first charge. Now, you might be, whatever, I get Swift Stride. I don't know if that stacks, but back in 6th edition, charging was just double your movement. You couldn't pre-measure, so getting that D6 might help you. However, if you fail, no more D6 extra movement for you. Audacity, the audacity they had to put this many virtues, am I right? 15 if I counted correctly, by the way. 30 points, you reroll a hit and wound rolls against enemy with a higher strength value than themselves. So it's pretty much like saying I'm jealous. Dute, 30 points as long as the general is alive. Add 1 to combat res into any battle that the bearer is a part of. Pretty dope. Joust, 25 points. You reroll failed to hit rolls on the turn which you charge with lances, and magical lances get this too. So you can put this on a dude who took a magical lance from the magical items, and then boom, you're freaking laughing. Confidence, 25 points, must always issue challenge. However, in challenge you receive to reroll all failed to hit and wound rolls. Not bad. Noble Disdain. Knight hates all models with shooting, and they don't gotta take leadership checks for dudes that when they lose 25% of their unit. They don't care because they hate shooting. Purity, always start the game with Blessing of the Lady, even without praying. And you know what? Regardless of strength, you get a 5-up ward save. That's how much the Blessing loves you. And then Discipline, 15 points. The enemy never gets +1 combat res for outnumbering you. However, if you're beaten by a fear-causing enemy, worthless. Worthless, I tell ya. Empathy, 15 points. This one, in my personal opinion, of what I read, seems like the best one. 15 points. Knight can be fielded on foot. Throw him with peasants. As long as he's not the general, every peasantry unit within 12 inches of him gets to use his leadership. I think that's good. Smack him in the middle. Put a bunch of archers around him. Put a bunch of freaking pikemen or spearmen around him, and just wait to be charged. How would you guys use it? Alright, so here we go. The Silver Lance of the Blessed. 65 points, you get +2 strength in the charge. If you have Blessing of the Lady, you auto-hit. I think that sounds pretty freaking sweet. 65 points? Probably not. But auto-hit? Dope. Sword of the Quest. 50 points, you can use this as a hand weapon or a great weapon. You pick in the beginning of the phase, much like Black Orcs. However, no armor saves may be taken against this weapon. So whatever you do, it's like you don't get an armor save. The strength value is solely just going to depend on the toughness. If you're already a higher strength than them, do the hand weapon. If you're lower strength than them, do the great weapon. Wound them on 3s. I think that's dope. Sword of the Latest Champion, 40 points, +1 strength to the target's toughness. So if the dude is toughness 5, you add +1 strength to yourself, making you strength 6. And guess what?
But wait! There's more!
There's more. You get to keep that for your armor modifications. So you're going to be subtracting 3 from his armor save, all because a dude decided to take a better toughness than you. Mark of Nurgle, I believe, added +1, or maybe it was Fear. I don't know. Either way, get wrecked. Sword of Heroes, 35 points. Against enemies that are toughness 5, you gain +1 strength, and each unsaved wound becomes D3 wounds. I think that one obviously be something I would take. Heartwood Lance, it's a magical lance, +2 strength, reroll to hit and wound rolls. That's dope. You have to be mounted, however, to get that. The Birth Sword, 35 points. Add 1 to strength. Enemies wounded must reroll armor saves. It's a nuisance. The Morning Star, 25 points. You get +2 strength for the first round of combat. And then for each hit roll a d6 on a 4-up. That magic weapon, if the opponent had one, is destroyed. You have the Lance of Artois, 25 points, +2 strength on charge. Also gain killing blow in the turn in which you charged. Obviously, lances only happen in the first round of combat when you charge. The Worm Lance, I'd take this one for the lulz. 20 points, +2 strength, obviously on the charge. You get to make a breath attack, which is a template once per battle, which are strength 3 hit. Also, all attacks are considered to be flaming. That's dope. Moving on. Magic armor. There is more after this, believe me. The Gilded Caress, 55 points, give a 5 up armor, and you can combine that with other armor modifications, and you also gain regen. So what do I mean by you can combine it with other armor modifications? You get a 5 up armor, you get to combine that with a shield, which makes you 4, combine it with barter, which is a 2. And then I'm not going to be restating it, so most of these armor values, unless I say otherwise, can be modified. Armor of Midsummer, it gives you a 5 up armor save, -1 to the opponent's hit rolls when using magic weapons. So the Grail Shield gives you a 4 up ward save on the Blessing of the Lady, no matter the enemy's strength value. Like we said, strength value gives you +1 ward save for 5 up. This just gives you 4 across the board. Really good in a game that ward saves were not pertinent in. The Grommel Great Helm, I like this because you get to add 1 to your armor save essentially, and then reroll all failed armor saves, so you get a 1 up armor save before modifications. Obviously, a roll of a 1 always fails, but you get to reroll that. I would take that 110%. 30 points is worth it. The Armor of Agolof is 25 points. Replaces the heavy armor, gives a 4 up save. The shield can be used. You cannot use any two-handed weapons, however, you get an unalterable weapon skill 10. So for using only a hand weapon or a lance, a weapon skill 10 is pretty freaking beast. The Cuirass of Fortune, 20 points. Again, replace heavy armor. You reroll dice rolls of 1. Probably put that, I don't know if you can, but put on the Damsel or the Prophetess and then reroll your 1s in casting. And then the Orc Shield, you get a 6 up save, and then people with orcs have to take an animosity test on a 1 or 2 they fail. I believe it's within 12 inches as well. Next! Cyrene's Locket, 55 points. You can never suffer more than 1 wound in any phase. However, you can still get killing blowed and you can still be run down. Must be a Bretonnian Lord to take. Token the Damsel, 35 points. 2 up ward save on your first wound. However, if you're me, you're going to fail that on a 1 and you're going to have to hope you took that one little tidbit of armor to reroll your 1s. But for me, it's not worth it. I always fail those. Insignia of the Quest, 30 points. The bear is reduced to 1 wound, gain a 3 up ward save. So if someone's doing 10 attacks to you and 2 go through and you have 1 wound left, the rest of those 7 are going to be resolved at that 3 up ward save. Happens the second you're dropped to 1. However, the caveat is you must have the questing vow to take it. The Braid of Bordelot is pretty much +1 leadership until the next turn. 1 use only. You can be in swamp and marshland and get soft cover. Worthless, in my opinion. Dragon Claw, 25 points. You get a ward save of 5 up for the Blessing, and then on top of it, you're immune to fire-based attacks, including the Lore of Fire. If it sounds like I'm shotgunning through these, I have to. There's so much that if I go and I take my time explaining all these, we're going to be here for an hour. It's happened already to me. And then you have the Mantle, the Damsel, Elaine, poison attacks don't matter, and then get wrecked with your killing blow because it doesn't affect the bear. Good way to mess with your opponent if he's excited about his killing blow special rules, like I get. The Falcon Horn of Friedman, I don't know who Friedman is, but he's charging way too much points for his horn. You get to use it 1 turn only, 1 use only, and enemies can't fly. Pretty much it. Can't pursue, flee with their flying roll. Whatever. Holy Icon, 40 points. Magic Resolution 3. The Ruby Goblet, 30 points. If you unsuffer to unsave wound, you automatically kick this in, and that means you cannot be wounded anymore unless you're hit on a 3 up with a non-magical weapon. The Mane of the Purebred, +1 strength to the Warhorse. Obviously, only the horse gets it. Antlers of the Great Hunt. Bretonnian Lord and Paladin only. You may roll an additional die when pursuing, choosing the highest of the 3. Tres Aisuru, 20 points. Pick an enemy model at the beginning of combat phase. You hit them on 2 or higher. The Gauntlet of the Duel. Your enemy cannot refuse a challenge that you issue to them. Boom. Silver Mirror, 1 use only. Dispel Scroll that comes with a strength 6 punch to the freaking enemy wizard. That's my type of stuff right there. Especially in 8th Ed, you can only take 1 Dispel Scroll, take a Dispel Scroll, take the Silver Mirror, and then punch him with that Silver Mirror. Really give it to him. Sacrament of the Lady, you're pretty much handing out communion as you go on, man. Wafer, wafer, wafer. On a roll of a 1, you can no longer hand out wafers. What does this do? It allows you to have double the power dice. You can only have a max of 12 in 8th edition. I count this worthless. So the Verdant Heart is the next one. You're pretty much, if you're in forests or woods, it counts as dangerous terrain. You gain +1 to casting any Lore of Life. The prayer icon of Quinellus, 25 points. You can use it anytime. The bearer, and she's given the blessing of the lady if you lose it. So say you did shrivel up from a challenge, or you did run and you rallied. You can prayer this icon of Quinellus and gain your blessing right back. It is a one use only though, so don't weak up in the next challenge. The Chalice of Malfuer, 20 points. At the start of the opponent's magic phase, the bearer may drink. On a 1, you take a wound, no armor ward saves allowed. On a 2 through 6, you gain the lucky chance of getting an extra dispel die. If you paid for that and you take that wound, you deserve that, because that is a worthless thing. I wouldn't even, not even a hoarder would keep that around. The Potion Skyer, 10 points. Before rolling the dice to cast or dispel, add 1 to the result of the die. One use only. You can prevent miscast from happening, or you can make it happen with your irresistible force. Banner of the... Oh, okay. We're moving into the banners now. This one was a ginormous letdown. First, I read 100 points in the book, and I was like, this has got to be game-breaking. Banner of the Lady, 100 points. Anyone in contact with the bear just doesn't count rank bonuses. Yeah, maybe that was good in 6th edition, 8th edition. I would not pay for that banner if my life depended on it. The Valorous Standard, 50 points. Roll 3d6 for leadership checks. Discard the highest. You have to be knights only, so you have to have the knight vow. Whatever. I don't think it's worth it. Banner of Defense, 30 points. Blessing of the Lady confers a 4 board save against missiles, and it can still be lost. So when you get shot at, you get a 4 board save, and I believe that includes any war machines. The Twilight Banner, 25 points. You get to move through everything, even buildings. However, they draw the line. You cannot move through units or end your movement with impossible terrain, and that is one use only. So for 25 points, you get to pretty much fly like Aladdin on the carpet. The Conqueror's Tapestry is my favorite. For 25 points, it gives you an additional 100 points, so you get 200 points for capturing an enemy unit's banner instead of 100. However, if you're foolish enough to get your butt kicked and they conquer your banner, they get 200 points. Perfect, fun, gimmicky for people like me. I don't know. You get the Errantry Banner next for 20 points. I would always take this on a Knights Errant unit, in my opinion. You gain +1 strength on a turn they charge. It doesn't affect the seeds, however. And then on top of it, you're -2 leadership when taking your Impetuous test for Knights Errants. We'll cover that when we get to their unit profile. And then you have the Banner of Cheons. 10 points. Enemies cannot choose to stand and shoot against these guys. Why not? It's 10 points. Most things can take banners. Next, we're moving on to the mounts. They got a Warhorse. I'm going to give you all these profiles so I don't have to touch them moving forward with the individual units. Warhorse, movement 8, weapon skill 3, strength, toughness 3, wounds 1, initiative 3, 1 attack, leadership 5. No negative modifiers for barding because they have the special role purebred. Pegasus, move 8, have fly, weapon skill 4, strength and toughness 5, wounds 3, initiative 4, attacks 2, leadership 7. Hippogriffs, big dude, large target, can't join units. Not worth it in 8th edition because you can get sniped out of the sky. Movement 8, weapon skill 4, strength and toughness 5, 4 wounds, initiative 4, attacks 4, leadership 8, fly, large target, and terror. Terror is pretty good. I like that. In 8th, if they failed their leadership check when you charged them, they pretty much ran away. Cool stuff. Moving on to the unit profiles. Here we go. We're just going to be shotgunning through it. Let's knock this out. Boom. Building an army, core 25% minimum special. No more than 50% rare. No more than 25%. We'll see if that changes in the coming months with the old world. Core units. You got the Knights Errant. 20 points per model. Unit size is 5 to a maximum of 15. I haven't seen this in a lot of other armies. This is the first one. Interesting to see. You get a hand weapon, lance, heavy armor, shield, Bretonnia Warhorse. Now, you get a free upgrade of the champion. However, you must take a champion. So you don't get a say. Musician is 7 points, and the standard's 14 points to upgrade. You can have a magic banner of 25 points, weapon skills 3, strength 3, initiative 3, attacks 1, 2 on the champion, leadership 7. Now they have Impetuous. Knights must make a charge if they're within range or take a leadership check to refrain. If you fail the leadership check to refrain, you must charge. However, on turns in which they charge, they get immune to psychology. Take that banner, get the extra strength, then take the -2 to your leadership, charge, get immune to psychology, you're laughing. I think that's the best way to do it. Knights of the Realm. You're looking at 24 points of pop. You have to have a minimum of 5, maximum to 15. The champion is a must and is free. Musicians 8 points. Standard bearer 16 points. You can see they added 2 to the standard, 1 to the musician. May take a magical banner of up to 25 points. However, these dudes are a little bit different. They have 1+ weapon skill, putting them a weapon skill 4, and a better leadership, which is leadership 8. These guys also have the Knight's Vow and Purebred. I think these guys are where it's at. +1 weapon skill, you're hitting people better than they're hitting you. Worth it. Men of Arms, you're pretty much getting dudes with halberdiers. You can pay a point for spears, don't know why you would. Standard bearers 10, musicians 5, champions 12. Weapon skills 2, 3 on the champion. Strength and toughness 3, 1 attack, 2 on the champ, and then they have the peasant duty. How much do you hate yourself is the question you gotta ask. The bowmen are dope. Bliss skill 3, bliss skill 4 on the champ. Again, same upgrades, 5 points for the musician, 10 points for the banner, 12 points for champion, and they have what's called defensive stakes. You set these up when you deploy. They cannot exceed your 12-inch deployment. Those must be at the 12-inch deployment if you plan on maxing out your deployment. When people charge you, they charge the stakes. Stakes take away all of their benefits for charging you. They don't get extra strength from the lances. They don't get to count it towards combat res. In 6th edition, they don't get to strike first, because when you charge, you get to attack first. However, you cannot move, reform, sneeze, anything, or you lose these stakes. I think they're kind of cool. I think they're worth it. You can pay 1 point, get rid of the stakes, and get skirmish. Lame. You can take 1 point for light armor. Lame. Let these dudes die. But you can get braziers for 5 points and get flaming attacks. I think that's dope. So, again, Bliss skill 3 and 4, which is like really freaking awesome on these guys. I would take them 100%. Questing Knights. Now these are where we get into the meat and potatoes, the sexy guys here. Questing Knights. Dudes are packing great weapons. Minimum unit of 5, max of 12, 28 points a pop. Must take a free champion. Why wouldn't you? It's free. 9 points for standard because they added that 1 point from the last one. And 18 points for your banner because they added that 2 points. However, you get a magical standard of up to 50 points. These dudes vary a bit differently. Weapon skill 4, strength 4, plus 2 with great weapon, strength 6. And then on top of it, leadership 8. They have questing knight and purebred warhorse, so they get all the benefits from being a questing knight. Now, we're going to look at the Pegasus Knights. Question all you in the chat. I couldn't figure it out because I'm only going off the 6th edition book. Pegasus units could only be 0 to 1 unless you took a Bretonnian lord who is riding on a Pegasus. Is that a fact in 8th edition? Please let me know. 55 points per model. Not bad when you're looking at flying cav. Unit size is a minimum of 3, max of 10. They're packing lances, heavy armor shield, and hand weapon. Pegasus champion must be taken for free. Musicians 10 points, standard bearers 20 points. No magical standards included, period. You can still take a BSB and put them on a Pegasus though. You're looking at weapon skill 4, and instead of having strength 4 like their homies, the questing knights, they're at toughness 4. So they can have a little bit more survivability at 2 wounds. So I think it's worth it personally to pack these guys because you got a flying cav, and again they get the Knight's Vow, so they get those rules too. And I would use them as harassing. I probably wouldn't go more than 3 personally for me, unless you're just going for fun or to be goofy. The Grey Reliquary is, I believe, something you have to convert on your own. You can only have 0 to 1 unit if the book is still holds true to 8th. It's 118 points. So you can choose to have this if you have 1 unit with the Grail Vow special rule. If you don't have that, you're not taking this thing. You get 1 Grey Reliquary, 6 Battle Pilgrims. You can increase to 24 Battle Pilgrims for 9 points a pop. And these Battle Pilgrims are kind of rocking shield, light armor, 5 up save with a hand weapon. So that's not bad. Now, going on from there, the Reliquary is movement 4 and strength and toughness 3, weapon skill, bliss skill 2, just like the Pilgrims. 6 wounds, initiative 3, 4 attacks, leadership 8. Pilgrims each get 1 attack. Special rules, it dishes out hatred, stubborn, peasant's duty, Grey Reliquary, and unit strength of 6. I believe you have to be 6 wide. Or at least a minimum of 6 with the peasants. So the Grey Reliquary is a holy shrine, counts and acts in terms of rules as a standard bearer and a musician. Has a 5 up save when not in combat, when in combat, 4 up save, gives the entire unit Blessing of the Lady. You can't go wrong from that. It's the last thing you remove, like a command element, so you remove all the little peasants before you remove the Grey Reliquary. And then the mounted yeomen, these are pretty much just peasants on horses. They get bows, they get spears, they get hand weapon, they get you can pay for shield, and they're considered fast cav. You can upgrade them to have light armor, but you lose fast cav. Obviously, that's a waste. Take these dudes bare bones, harass them with shooting if you want, run, bait them to charge them, use them to kind of harass the enemy. They're not very good, and they have 1 attack, 2 on the champ, and you're looking at weapon skill and ballistic skill 3, strength and toughness 3, and the horse's movement 8. Fast cav peasants duty are the special rules on these guys. My favorite, Grill Knights. You can have up to 1 unit of these guys. 38 points per pop, but you're getting some good sexiness with them. Eat that up. You have hand weapon, lance, heavy armor, shield, barded. 2-up armor save on these bad boys. No champion can be taken in this unit. You can have a 10-point musician, 20-point standard bearer, and up to 50 points of magical standard items can be taken. Your weapon skill freaking 5, which is great. Strength 4, which is sexy. 2 attacks, which is even sexier. Leadership 8. And they have some dope special rules. They get all the rules from the Grail Vow. They get Living Saints. They get Purebred Warhorse. One of those I haven't talked about before, and that's Living Saints. Every model in this unit can issue and accept challenges as if they were a champion. What's not to love about that? Get wrecked, homies. You're going to be taking all these challenges. Wolfric the Wanderer, he ain't going to know what to do with himself. And then you got the Field Trebuchet, 90 points, 4 peasant crew, upgrade 1 for 10 points. The crew is peasants, so they suck. And on top of it, the Field Trebuchet has a range of 12 to 60 inches. However, it's caveat because it's disgusting. Cannot move, may pivot. But your strength 10 and the small blast template and the center hole. And the rest is considered to be strength 5, making it tougher. So I like it personally. I've never seen anyone use it because I've never played Bretonnia, but hey, I'm open to it. Lords and Heroes. So, like most of my videos, we're going to tap on the name Lords. You know, here's the breakdown we all know. Name Lords. The Green Knight, the Fey Enchantress can be a Lord or a hero choice, and then you have King Louis Leoncoeur. These guys are all going to get their respective videos later down the line. I'm not going to break it into it right now. Again, the Fey Enchantress can be a hero. So you got a Bretonnia Lord. Come stock, 110 points. You can upgrade his vow to Grail Vow for 28 points and the Questing Vow for 12. You can take a series of weapons. Morningstar for 3 points, 6 points. He can take a great weapon, but he has to have the Questing Vow for the great weapon. And here's where it gets expensive. 200 points if you want to put him on a Hippogriff. 50 points on a Pegasus. 21 points on a Barded Warhorse. However, he must be riding. And he can take any combination of magic items to a total of 100 points, and that's including our sweet 15 virtues. What are you getting with this dude? So you're actually getting something pretty decent. Weapon skill 6, strength 4, toughness 4, initiative 6, 4 attacks, leadership 9. Not bad. And then the prophetess of the lady is like a wizard, if you will. 190 points base, starts off wizard level 3, can upgrade for 35 points, wizard level 4, must choose from the lore of life or the lore of beasts. She has a hand weapon, and she's packing a pretty good hit right there. She can take a Pegasus for 50, Warhorse for 15, and include Barding for 6 points more. She can take 100 points of magical items, no virtues, because that's for the gentlemen in the group. And she is pretty much your standard magic user, 3s across the board, movement 4, 1 attack, and leadership 8. Aura of the lady, however, gives her a 2-up magic resistance, and the damsel would get a 1-up, magic resistance of 1. Moving on to the Paladin, you can upgrade them to a BSB. You must have a BSB in this army. 60 points per equipment. You get heavy armor, hand weapon. Has and starts off with the Night Vow. Again, can upgrade the questing for 8, Grail for 21. Options for him are as follows. 2 points for Morningstar, same rules apply before. 4 points for a Lance, and great weapon if you took the questing Night Vow, because they don't like lances. You can take up to 50 points for a Peg. And 14 points for Bretonnia Barded Warhorse, and may take a shield for 2 points. Again, may have 50 points of magic items and virtues, and he's pretty much strength and toughness 4, weapon skill 5, leadership 8, 2 wounds. Not bad. Damsel, level 1 wizard, pretty much like the prophetess of the lady. Again, she can take level 2 for 35 points, has to draw from Lore of Beasts, Lore of Life, 10 points for Barding, and then 10 points for a horse, 4 points for Barding, no Pegasus for her. And then on top of it, 50 points of magic items, no virtues because she's not one of the gentlemen. And then again, 3s across the board, 2 wounds and leadership 7, or the lady conferring +1 the magic resolution. There we go. Summary. Here we go, ending on the positive note. Oh, the lady of the lake. I don't know why I did that so much. It's 3 in the morning. Sorry. So, where to start, what to expect. I think these dudes are going to be getting some hefty freaking support. Not in terms of models, clearly. The new models do look dope. However, yeah, I anticipate these guys being fully released on day 1 at launch, getting their book. Again, I still am interested to see how the books come out. Where can you get the bases if you want to start now? You can 3D print, you can buy. I'll have lists in the description below. If you don't care about having GW models, there's various ways you can get these. You can 3D print, you can go on Etsy to be able to 3D print, you can go on eBay, pay an arm and a leg and a kidney, and get the authentic stuff, or you can just kind of wait and buy your army when it gets re-released. Now, if you want to start playing it to see if it's for you, I recommend this every video, Tabletop Simulator. Go in there, download the stuff needed to play Warhammer Fantasy Battles. There's people that are willing to play. I look forward to seeing the Bretonnians come back. I look forward to seeing them get a new book. This book sucks. Done with it. It's cool, but it's not fun to break it down. Everybody, until next time, have a lovely day, evening, night. I'll be talking about all this stuff later on, the rules. I got some other videos coming up in the pipeline. And happy holidays. Peace.